Hey, this is the World Advice Channel too. What I want to talk about today is the topic of, do the masses actually ruin everything? So for this video, I'm going to explain in a simple and straightforward way the topic of, do the masses actually ruin everything, in a simple and straightforward way so anyone can understand it, as well as a message that you can learn from this video, okay? Relating to this topic, of course. So now that I mentioned that, let's get started. So when it comes to the topic of, do the masses ruin everything? Yes, they actually do ruin everything, okay? Whether it's minor things like entertainment as a whole, which is why when you turn on the radio, you have to hear the same freaking songs, and not just the same songs, but in a bad rotation. It'll be playing 1980 songs, it'll be playing 2000s songs and 1990 songs or something like that, let alone for any other form of entertainment aside from music. To even on a social level, like why when you go places, you know, and you're sitting with people, they have all these silly rules like you're not supposed to eat too fast and all this stuff that doesn't really matter. Like, I would imagine what matters most is that you're eating properly, you're not getting your shirt dirty. But anyway, okay, to answer your question, the masses, yes, they do actually ruin everything, okay? But aside from the minor things, the most important thing that they actually fucking ruin is the state of the world, okay? The world we live in today sucks, okay? Especially to sum it up on a political level, okay? And since politics matters a lot to us because it determines literally our whole everything that exists, it's really politics, no matter how you might want to put it. It's not just about taxes, it's literally about how to maintain a civilization, which all of us in the modern world, specifically here in the West, we live in civilization. So obviously it's very important because it determines everything that makes our lives good in one way, shape, or form or another, you know. So the truth of the matter is, obviously screwing something like that up is obviously a very bad thing, okay? And the thing about the masses I've noticed is that they don't do very good at fact checking, okay? They just support things, and they just not just support things, you know, they just give full-handed support to things without actually looking up the facts. It's just like when you speak to people on a day-to-day basis, you can speak on a bunch of topics. Sometimes they give the dumbest answers imaginable, okay? To the point it's just like, oh my god, this is starting to piss me off, you know? Like, but that's how people are like. And when it comes to, of course, politics, like things relating to the environment, things relating to the economy, things related to you know, rights like gun rights and stuff like that, like they say a lot of them might say the dumbest things imaginable, okay? They just do dumb things and they support dumb things, which is why our society has been declining for decades, and why everyone talks about how much better things were in the 1990s. Yes, it has to do with the fact that entertainment quality has gone down, but most importantly of all, of course, our actual lives have gone down since the 1990s. So cost of living has gone a lot higher. You know, there's more chaos in the world, there's more violence, a whole lot of things have gotten worse since then. And of course, we can't forget, of course, the environment, specifically related to global warming, which might literally result in the end of the world as we know it, okay? Those are things that the masses are responsible for, because they just don't fact check and they support politicians who suck, and just as a result they don't get shit done. And that's honest truth, okay? But at the same time, we also have to realize, as of which obviously if you're watching this video, and specifically videos like this, you are obviously most likely probably someone who falls in a more intellectual type, somebody who's interested in intelligent subjects instead of just focusing on brain dead dumb subjects, okay? If you're more of an intellectual type, okay, the thing you have to learn, which the message is that you cannot hate them. Is you have to realize, okay, to sum it up, people can change, okay? Because even though the masses, to be honest with you, can be annoying sometimes, okay, we also have to realize that, like anything in the world, people can change. Just like people might have bad habits at one point in their life that are terrible, you know, like they're overweight, this and that, they just say things without thinking, and you speak to them years later and they've changed drastically, okay? So we have to realize holding hatred towards the masses and saying, oh, humanity sucks and all that stuff is not a very good way of thinking, and will just guarantee you a very miserable existence. When we also have to realize that even if the majority of people suck, you know, playing devil's advocate here, we also have to realize there's also a lot of very good people in this world too. So to just simply say, oh, everyone in the world sucks, the masses suck, the humanity sucks and stuff, is just making you miserable. And most importantly of all, it's just not really the best way of thinking, because people can change. Because there are definitely methods that can be used and developed to improve the knowledge people receive. So people don't like all just hear things from one side and not the other side, so things will turn out better, okay? Because one of the reasons why our political system is so fucking terrible is that people don't understand that there's something known as a bigger picture, okay, for how to run a nation or civilization, whatever you like to call it, okay, country, whatever, okay? There's fundamental rules to make sure that a country is run properly so everything works well, okay, for everybody, okay? There's fundamental rules that determine to make sure a nation is doing well, okay? Whether it could be focusing on the environment, having certain rules for the economy, having basic civil rights, you know, or in other words, rights for human beings guaranteed, like gun rights and stuff, just obviously set limits to it, like things like that. There are certain rules that can be set that can make sure a society does not actually fall apart, okay, and it doesn't suck, okay? I'm certain there's a way even to be more specific that you can write down on a piece of paper. These are all the fundamental ways we can make sure our society doesn't fall apart, okay? You know, for that matter, okay? And that's exactly what I'm trying to get across here, because I just don't think it's necessary saying, oh, I hate everybody, I hate the masses, I hate the world and stuff. It's just making you miserable. I know it's in the intellectual community, I see this way of thinking a lot, and it's very toxic and very negative, because all it's really doing is just making you miserable. Because humanity, whether we want to admit it or not, is a pretty damn smart species. We can be stupid sometimes, on a collective level, of course, but at the same time, we also are very intelligent. We can adapt in any environment, and there's so many of us. To think that, oh, we're going to go extinct one day and we're going to be living in a world where everyone's dead and stuff, or the majority of people die, and you know, and of course the smart, intelligent people survive, you know, and we're gonna have this like eugenics, survival of the fittest type scenario, where only the most brilliant, intelligent, wise-minded people survive and all the dumb people die. You know, all those ways of thinking, you know, those are not good ways of thinking. What matters most is that obviously, you know, we realize people can change, okay? Because this whole hatred for the masses does nothing for anybody. It doesn't make anything better for anyone. What matters most is obviously, of course, you can live the best life you can live, okay? Just saying I hate the masses, I hope they all die and stuff, doesn't really do anything. It's just kind of dumb. And that's exactly what I'm trying to get across here. It doesn't do anything, and it'll just make you more miserable. Besides, if you hate the masses so much, you can obviously just not pay attention to them or think about them. But regardless of that, the main point is that this way of thinking needs to stop, and it needs to change, okay? Because what matters most is that you need to understand yourself, that you can make the world a better place. And that's what's most important of all. Things can change. And the world, to sum up my point for this video, can become better, okay? Just saying the masses suck, the masses suck, the masses suck, nothing's going to change, doesn't do anything for you, and will just make you more miserable, and will just fuck things up. And that's the honest truth here. So in short, to make my point even more clear, the world can become a better place. Just saying the masses suck doesn't do anything, because at the end of the day, people can change, and that's the truth. So anyway, this is my video. This is all I have to say. And simply put it, if you like this video, remember to thumbs this video up and hit the subscribe button. And that's all I have to say. And simply put, I'm out. So bye.